Hello, this is Bill Cloudsy. Welcome to a Guilds of Ravnica competitive single elimination draft on Magic Online. Let's start with the cards we might pick in this first pack. Electro Dominance, I haven't seen this do much, but you can go anywhere with it. It's a good way to close out a game if you're an aggressive deck. It's a nice, removal spell if you're in a controlling deck. But it's also red, and red is not the color I'm most interested in. I actually really like High Alert here. The very first pick I made in this format was a High Alert. I just wanted to try it out and got a pretty good deck with it. And it turns out there's just a lot of flyers that become monsters when their toughness does their damage. I'm going to grab that here. We're also not passing much Azorius. I guess the Gate is a nice pickup if someone does go into that. And yeah, bit of a weird one, but the thing is there are just so many good commons that work with High Alert. Orzhov also tends to come to me a little more often than it should. And I've had a lot of success with Orzhov. It's nice to pair it with Azorius. So, cards like Orzhov Guildgate, Final Payment, maybe even Syndicate Guildmage, these are nice cards. Sentinel's Mark is just going to be a really good card all around. You're getting this combat trick with a couple pieces of upside. One, you can gain some life off it, and two, it sticks around. Well, three, it gives it vigilance too, so a very powerful trick, and it's much better if you have High Alert. So I'm going to grab that here. Hopefully we don't get cut off too hard, because this is a heavy commitment when we could have been branching out into Orzhov a bit more. And cards that look a little less good are the cards like Senate Griffin, where if our plan is really to get out this High Alert eventually, then Senate Griffin gets a bit less impactful in those games. We could also start looking at what third color we would want to go into. Black and green are the two good options. Could also take a Gateway Plaza. Yeah, nothing here looks that good. Unfortunately, red doesn't work so well with this, although Spear Spewer might be some kind of option. Yeah, weak. Oh, I'm going to take Gruul Guildgate of all of these cards, just in case we can go into a few more colors. Rally to Battle. I suppose if there is a 4-mana trick for the High Alert deck, this is it. And Azorius is really not coming here. We're not getting any of the birds. I suppose a rare and an uncommon are missing, and then one common, so it's too early to tell if our guild is being cut, but yeah, same kind of reason for taking the Gruul Guildgate here. I'm going to take the Orzhov Guildgate. And yeah, some nice things about this. If Azorius isn't open, this lets us go into just any kind of deck that could splash white or splash blue. Next up, or even if we see that Gruul is wide open, we could just go into that and kind of make a boring deck, but a more powerful deck than if we're fighting super hard to get a playable Azorius deck. Sunder Shaman is one of the better 4-mana uncommon lords of the guilds. I don't know what you call them, but this cycle of really demanding mana requirements for these uncommons. It is a good one, but if you're in a many-color deck, that does get worse. Still, it's kind of the highest payoff card here, and we're seeing it late-ish, and we have one Gruul Guildgate. So I'm just going to grab that and hope something comes of it. If not, it means something is coming somewhere else. Dovin's Acuity. This is one I haven't had a lot of success with. I've seen some people try it to some success, but I mean, there's just so many good cards in Azorius that don't trigger this. Then you don't have to trigger it too many times, but the 2 life is nowhere near as good as the Disinformation campaign, where your opponent would also have to discard a card. because that gets going early. I might just... I'll take the summary judgment here. If there was a really good payoff for Gruul, I might keep going down that road. But this is just a nice removal spell, even if we end up in Esper or Azorius or whatever. Yeah, it could be that Gruul is the open color here. 3 good cards in that deck, and basically nothing outside of it. Sure, there's a junk troller, but a 4 mana 6/6 that requires a high alert in your deck to be any good is not what I'm looking for. There's other good 4-drops. I would play it with high alert, but I'm not that excited. So I think I'm going to start going further into Gruul, and the Rubble Belt Runner's a nice size of a creature for what you're getting. And immediately go back to Azorius here. The Admonition is okay. Slimebind is a more or less permanent answer to a creature, so I'll grab that. Twilight Panther, and another Rubble Belt Runner, and a Rubble Belt Recluse. I guess you have all these creatures who live in the Rubble Belt. Recluse is kind of the biggest thing you can do for 5 mana, and you're going to be on the offensive, so usually that's not a drawback. It does run into a Twilight Panther and kind of impale itself, but there's ways around that too. I'll take the Recluse here. see if anything comes of that. Orzhov Guildgate. Yeah, here we have a 6 mana 3/6, which is more expensive than the Recluse, and it doesn't play too well against it, although you get 1 extra chump blocker unless you have a high alert, in which case you're getting 7 power and toughness for just 1 more mana. Yeah, not a whole lot here. I'll take another Orzhov Guildgate, and you can kind of see my drafting style here. Just take a lot of powerful stuff and hope that a direction becomes more clear than it is already. Brush Strider is okay. Wrecking Beast is more of a sealed finisher. Definitely a powerful one, but ramping is just not where I want to be. Still, I take it here because we should be able to get enough 3-drops, and it might turn out to be something we're interested in. Act of Treason, not much left here. Humongulous. I suppose that would be a good one with Sentinel's Mark. Maybe we'll finally find a use for it. 10th District Veteran. Caretaker. And last pick Junk Troller. So there it is. We are all over the place this draft. But that might be okay. Oh. Angel of Grace. That's an exciting one. If you're in 5 colors, it doesn't matter what bomb you open, you can play it. This one does get a bit worse with High Alert, but it's still a Wind Drake. With Flash. And then that kind of worship ability when for 1 turn, for what good that does. And a good one in Gruul too. Collision, Colossus, and then Frenzied Erynx is another one that if Gruul is really open, something like this could wheel. But I'm not going to give up on taking this Mythic here. That's pretty exciting. And a really powerful one. Oh, wow, some incredible cards in this pack. Kaya's Wrath, which could justify taking all of these Orzhov Guildgates. And then Ill-Gotten Inheritance, which I love. Azorius Skyguard, which is pretty powerful late, and if it goes unanswered, you can't really lose those games. It'd be hard to figure out a way to lose if you just have this in play. Yeah, I'll go for the Kaya's Wrath here. I think that's the highest upside card we can get. And that puts us into Esper. Possibly even Orzhov. Giving up on 2 blue cards. Although if we give up on High Alert, we're also giving up on a couple of our other white cards. So we'll see. We're going to have to take Azorius fixing when we get the chance. And that is our chance. Light up the stage. I guess I didn't read this correctly the first time. You get until your next turn to play out the card. So if you pop this out there for spectacle and hit 2 lands, you can play 1 land this turn and 1 land the next turn. And it's like a divination. It's a divination, and you get some weird upside where it costs 1 mana some of the time, so that's pretty good. But, or better than I thought at least, but it's not like a game-winning bomb or anything. Yeah, I'll take the Guildgate, passing Senate Guildmage, and a couple other random things. Yeah, but the way I draft, especially these multicolor sets, I really just want to be able to play anything that I want, and you just need a ton of fixing to get there. No fixing in this pack, so we'll have to look at something else like Azorius Night Arbiter. You win so quickly if you have this going and High Alert at the same time. So I will grab that, and nothing else is really pulling my attention here. Not Carnival Carnage, I'm afraid. Bring to Trial. Cards like this can be good, but a lot of decks just won't play a target at all, and you'll just be waiting for their creatures to get big enough to kill. And it's sorcery. That's one of the bigger drawbacks. So if this was instant, you'd be seeing it a lot more. Anyway, because in which case you can respond to tricks and things, and it's just so much more useful. But they didn't want to make white that powerful, I guess, in this set. Gates Ablaze? Potentially, if we had some better fixing, like a Rakdos Guildgate or something, we could look at that. But with so few gates and no red, it's too inconsistent. What was I looking at here? Oh yeah, the Orzhov Locket. Actually, the Orzhov Locket can't be good enough. We might get that on the wheel, and I don't really need it to make a playable deck. It's just kind of a thing. So I might not play the Gates Ablaze, but it has a higher upside if we do end up making that work. Night Arbiter number 2, and a Pegasus, and a Syndicate Guildmage, and a Final Payment. So all of these are good options here. I'll take the Final Payment. We don't have much targeted removal, and that's a pretty good one. Here we go. Thrall, Payment, Guildgate, and Senate Courier. Senate Courier is one of the best things you can have with this High Alert. And we just haven't seen any yet the entire draft. So it could be that, or it could be the Gate. We're going to wheel 1 card from this pack, and I'd be really surprised if it wasn't like the Singer or the Tower Defense. But that'd be nice if we could get back one of these 3. I don't know. I'm gonna grab the Senate Courier, but this is a tough pick. Okay. Final Payment, so we get a couple of these anyway. I'm glad I didn't take the second one. Fairy Duelist. We could also look at the Portal. The Portal plays well with Angel of Grace if your opponent's just trying to do those final points of damage and you don't let them, or if they're trying to kill Angel of Grace. Save it. I might put Junk Troller back in, but for now I'll just leave it. Fairy Duelist is good though. It's rather small for what you can get on 2 mana with High Alert, but it is still a 2 mana 2/2 flyer when High Alert gets down there. Next up, Impassioned Orator, Sphinx's Insight, Zeal, Bring to Trial. We can take the Insight here, get some card draw going. You don't want to load up on this effect because it's a real cost to skip a turn 4. If you have a lot of instant stuff to do, you can just hold it up and only do it if you need to, or if you don't need to do something else, rather. Another Duelist. The Stalwart can be really good in decks where you put a lot of creatures out early. This deck could definitely play more passive in the early turns until it gets Kaya's Wrath, or maybe even Gates Ablaze. I am regretting not taking the extra gate when we had the chance. The Senate Courier will be really good, but this deck does need a bit better fixing. I'll also be happy if we can wheel that Orzhov Locket. Not a bad time to pick up an Exposed to Daylight. We don't have one yet, and it answers a lot of cards. Wow, we do get the Orzhov Locket back. I definitely want that here. Watchful Giant is a bit better with High Alert, but still not a priority. The Locket is really nice because we do have some intense mana requirements. Especially for something like Kaya's Wrath, where you might need to shoot this off as early as possible. If you take a couple turns holding back creatures, your opponent just gets to attack you, and that can hurt a lot. Rafter Demon, Deface. Deface could be annoying to play against. And a late Officer. Officer's pretty aggressive. Not a bad card, but I think this format doesn't lend itself too well to vanilla cards like this. The final pack. What can we get to fill out this deck? Is it just a Slimebind in this pack? That might have to be it. Carnival Carnage. You have to be aggressive to play this. Maybe Shower of Sparks can be like a 10th pick or something. But to really want this card, you either have to have like a multicolor payoff or just be aggressive so that the Blightning half is playable and also punishing. I really don't like Benthic Biomancer. It's such an unreliable way of looting, and it really does only loot. So it's 1 mana 1/1 and then investing even more mana to upgrade it to a 2/2. What can you do? I mean, you can't ask too much for it being a 1 mana card, but it's really not all that exciting. Gateway Plaza. Maybe take the Plaza. The Plaza makes Gates Ablaze more of a realistic inclusion here. And it is worthwhile to include a card like Gates Ablaze, especially if all of your creatures are super tough. And then there's Gatebreaker Ram, but of course, splashing Gatebreaker Ram is good, but splashing it is not where you want to be. Splashing it off of so few sources. Okay, Gateway Sneak. That's one that's definitely going to come in handy here. We don't have infinite gates yet, but we'll pick up more as we get them. And it also benefits from High Alert, so synergy. Yeah, I did say I would pick up the gates when we saw them, and here's another one. Resolute Watchdog. For some reason I don't think this is going to wheel, but if it did, we could consider playing it. 1 mana 3/3. Not that that's how it'll play all the time, but it does have that potential. And it's not a terrible blocker early. Simic Guildgate. I'm interested in this. I don't think the Rams will wheel, but I don't want it to be too easy for anyone else to play the Rams. I do hate draft a little more aggressively, even in leagues, in the last pack. Just because there's less incentive to cooperate with your neighbors. Early in a league draft, you're probably not going to play against the people you draft against. So just cooperate as much as possible to get your deck the strongest. Screaming Shield. And not too much else here. I could take Consigned to the Pit, but Screaming Shield fights on a couple fronts. It gives us an alternate win condition, and it just pumps our things like crazy when we have High Alert. Ill-Gotten Inheritance. I'll never say no to this. Well, I guess I did say no to one earlier in the draft, while I was not quite as devoted to black, and I think it was in the same pack as Kaya's Wrath, so that kind of explains that. Not going to miss it this time. Another shield. I guess I don't want the second shield. but the petitioners might be a nice inclusion here. Doesn't look like we'll get any more gates, which is a shame, but we're just about there for playables. Do I want anything here? Scrabbling Claw is sometimes good out of the sideboard against certain strategies. Eyes Everywhere. Eyes Everywhere does help find what you need and can take away a blocker in the late game. 5 mana 7/7 with the Catacomb Crocodile here. Oh, I don't know what to pick. I'll take Eyes Everywhere, why not? What now? Revels, we don't have so many creatures, so I might just take some more removal here. It is Azorius Locket, I don't mind that. Veteran. This is going to be a tough build because we have a few good options, but the rest of it seems a little underpowered. And we have a lot of kind of close decisions I can imagine making, like whether to play our off-color gates, whether to give up on Gates Ablaze, whether to include more of our off-color cards or just the Gates Ablaze. So let's take a look at it. And kind of a low number of playables all around. But that's okay, that's why we have as much fixing as we do. Especially this Gateway Plaza, which is not your best gate if you're in a 2 or 3 color deck, but it is your best gate if you're in a 4 color deck. And this might just be that. How many gate payoffs do we have? Not really many. I mean, there's Gates Ablaze. That doesn't have to be 5 damage to be useful. It can just be 2 or 3 damage. Normally 2 is enough. Sometimes even 1. Then we have pretty good removal. Sentinel's Mark, which might be less useful. The Veteran, which itself has Vigilance and then could untap a flyer, or untap the Petitioners to activate again, or untap something with Screaming Shield. So that might be worth including. And I guess I wouldn't mind a Bring to Light in the main deck. Except that we have enough removal to deal with most things. Don't want any of this really heavy red stuff, or even the heavy green stuff. The double locket is cool. The Junk Troller is actually pretty good to recycle our deck in case we get really low on cards. With shuffle effects, it becomes even more interesting because you're kind of thickening up your deck with good stuff, or thinning out of lands. Doesn't look like we have many shuffle effects, but that would be the kind of thing that makes that good. Could just include an Expose main. In Sealed, that'd be an auto-include. In Draft, I guess it's not as important, but I'm not totally against that. So what does this look like? We've got 10, I guess it's 10-10, 4-1. So even between white and blue, not too much black, but enough black from Kaya's Wrath that I don't want to get too low on that. I say as I cut an extra swamp, but we'll see how this works out after putting in some of these gates. Let's do one of each of these. Definitely putting in a Gruul Guildgate. Gates Ablaze might not be able to be in this deck, I'm afraid. to play it, we would need this mountain. And I really don't want to play that mountain. Even the Gruul Guildgate only. Well, we also have Gateway Plaza. I kind of forgot about that. And that really does help here. So maybe we keep... Maybe it stays. Maybe we keep that in there. We could also put Eyes Everywhere in here. As long as we're confident enough in surviving for a little bit, that lets us just draw to what we need. And even draw closer to cards that we've put on the bottom with a junk troller in the late game. So that might actually work out. We would need a cut if we did that. I'll leave it out for now. There's 8, 9. I'm going to cut 1 plains for a mountain for now. And that leaves us 6 black sources. 6 black sources for Kaya's Wrath. So 2 in about a third of our deck. And maybe we'll get to draw a few extra cards. What do we need the least of? I think we need the least white. Besides all this. But we only need single blue. So the final thing I'll do here is cut an island for a swamp. And that lets us have these final payments pretty early. Yeah. Yeah, what a weird one. Okay, something like this could definitely work. It requires getting a bit lucky, but the better designed our mana base, the more lucky we'll get. So hopefully this is pretty close to what we'll need. Now, it looks like we're playing a lot of lands, but not so much high casting cost. Is that a problem? We have some card draw with Sphinx's Insight. That might be the only mana sink type thing we have. So Eyes Everywhere is looking a bit better. We could definitely put in Eyes Everywhere over something. But what? Probably this 10th District Veteran. 3 mana 3/3 is not that exciting, and even untapping a creature is not that exciting. So that looks a lot better to me. Now, as whether to play the Simic Guildgate or not, I think we don't want that. There's just no advantage to having green. And it could be nice to hit our land drops, especially our blue ones. Play an Orzhov Guildgate turn 1, play the island turn 2, and then have like Fairy Duelist up or whatever. Alright, well, kind of making the most out of a bit of a train wreck here. The good news is we have a couple powerful cards, and that's all you need to win some games, even as a control deck. H. Shipley in round 1. Would we like to play first? No, we've got a lot of cheap stuff and enough ways to deal with early pressure that I just want a more consistent start. Looks like a good hand, all in all. Keep it, just need to hit that 3rd and 4th and 5th land, and then we'll be set. It is nice to start with our more expensive cards, not because it's nice to have them in our opening hand, but it's nice to have the assurance that we will get to them eventually, because we don't have many high impact cards like this. Just a bit reassuring to see them. I thought they had returned here, but not so. Alright, we're playing a green deck. Does that change anything? No, I'm going to get the gate down now. Screaming Shield is pretty easy just to get down whenever. And even though a few of our turns might be taken up here, it's likely we'll be able to just throw that out there in a turn or two. Should we start milling them? Is that a route to victory against a green deck? With Screaming Shield, yeah. There's no other real incentive to do it, but part of the incentive this game is to gain information. Like if they just lose pretty quickly and we establish inheritance, they could concede and we're going to learn a lot about their deck. So maybe a gate deck, maybe Jund. Pay that. And same deal here. Yeah, the trouble is sometimes you get in a rut with milling, or it feels like you do, where your opponent mills exactly what you need. And especially when you might not have that many copies of the thing you need in your entire deck. All right. You know, it might be a good opportunity to get out the inheritance, but I think I'm going to get out the Angel of Grace. And just start killing them. Ah, we have red. One problem playing against Gruul is they're likely to have main deck enchantment removal. Not enchantment removal, flying removal. So we'll see if this thing gets plummeted. Plummeted immediately or later. Wow, that's such a good draw here. The other neat part is even if we put Screaming Shield on it, it does get plummeted by the 7 damage double spell thing. I'm just going to do that now. Really not what they want. 6. It might not seem like that's relevant to get that extra damage in, but with Ill-Gotten Inheritance it might just be exact timing. What is this? Rubble Belt Recluse, not bad. Maybe we Slime Bind that now, because we might not find another good opportunity. Like if we don't draw land here, well, I guess it didn't matter, because we're going to use the inheritance. Swing 5. And I guess we're pretty close to killing them. Since we're up to 6 mana now, we can just activate the inheritance if we get them down to 3 or 2 next turn. Did they find the plummet? Savage Smash. Yeah, that'll just about kill our thing. Summary Judgment, their thing's not tapped. I can't help this in any way. Now, if they do attack, we can use this to finish it off, which I might as well. And they're still going to lose to this, for sure. Ill-Gotten Inheritance is way too hard to beat. Now that they're on like a couple turn clock, this just takes a whole turn off. So do that. Play a Junk Troller. When you do see a Junk Troller, the chances that your opponent has High Alert in their deck go up to about 99%. So playing that means, you know, it gives away some more information, but maybe there's not so much they can do about it. And I figure I don't want to lose to not playing out enough. Like if they mess up inheritance somehow and they play a big haste creature and we don't have a blocker, then all that really sucks. So I think here we have to do this extra damage. So in order to do that, I'm just going to final payment this Gravelhide Goblin. Because this damage from the Petitioners is crucial to win this turn. I guess they see it. Alright, game 1 down. It really is like a Jund deck over there. Splashing black for Ill-Gotten Inheritance, which is a great idea. Do we have anything to help answer that? I guess we have a main deck exposed to Daylight, so good call there. And that's all we really need. Oh, Bring to Trial. Let's see if they've submitted already. Game 3, I could consider bringing in Bring to Trial. But it looks like we're on our way already. I mean, Gruul and green and red, they just have so many powerful creatures that that's going to be a good card most of the time. Yeah, first we'll go Orzhov because we have so many untapped blue sources. And they are off to the races here. Riot, I mean, we have a good answer to it, so... A couple good answers to it, actually. This turn we can just play the Duelist and hope they don't have a big trick. But I will block it just to block that 1 extra damage. And if they really want to use the trick here, then they might not be playing another creature, and that would be fine too. Kind of tough to decide between these two. But in the end I'll go with the Azorius Guildgate and swing 1. Maybe Gruul Guildgate was better that turn. Because that would guarantee a 3 damage fires or flames. Because we could just play the other gate and have it come in tapped. Yeah. So I'll definitely do it now. I guess it didn't end up mattering. Next turn we're taking 5. But the turn after that, we start to recover a little bit. Rubble Belt Recluse. Oh no! Where's the stuff we need? And the problem is we can't even just draw our Kaya's Wrath because we don't have the second black. Oh well. Oh well. My plan here is just to do Angel's Grace and double block like Gore Clan Wrecker. Hopefully this works. Yeah, double block the Wrecker because that doesn't get much easier to do. They kill the Duelist, but then we still have a blocker for like the Maka. We take 1,000,000 damage. Alternatively, that turn we could just chump the 6/5 and kill the 2/2 and only take 3, but then we still need an answer to all of this. Wow, just a lot of creatures. We might be dead. I didn't count it yet. Yes. No, we're not quite dead. We go to 1 here if they have nothing else. If they have any fight spell or really anything, we're dead, but even a Riot creature would do it because we're taking a lot of damage. Yeah, there it is. A few too many lands this game, but so it goes. Bring to Trial is coming in. Eyes Everywhere can go out. Yeah, it's just a bit slow. Sentinel's Mark is another good one, especially in light of some kind of fight spell. And I don't want to cut any creatures. We kind of have just so few creatures that cutting a creature is pretty scary. We do need a cut though, so I'm going to cut an island. Ooh, I'm going to cut a mountain actually. That looks a bit crazy. Low curve here, but I will be on the draw to kind of draw a bit more smoothly. And yeah, this looks good. Keep it. Orzhov Gate again. The Sphinx's Insight could potentially draw us, well, cards, but also gain us some life. Oh no. Judgment with a counter. Counter's great. So we can pull our trick again here, either trick that we want. I will do the Fairy Duelist trick because it is much worse for us if Summary Judgment doesn't kill this. Much, much worse, because we just take a lot more damage. Alright, that's another one that's pretty annoying to deal with. Whenever this attacks, target creature can't block this turn. Options. Options are... Well, we can't kill any of these with creatures this turn, so I think we just need to hold up Summary Judgment to try to take out the Shaman. I should have attacked there, I guess. Get that 1 damage in. And they played land first. Maybe not the best thing they could have done. Just see if this works or what. No pump spell, please. No +4/+2 pump spell. Okay, so we kill that thing, and now we'll have blockers eventually. We can even get this Inheritance out this turn. Yeah, that's a bit scary, but the real reason to do that there, it's a big old 4/4, the real reason to do that is to do 2 things this turn, since we have the mana to do Courier and Duelist. Does the double black help? I guess one doesn't help that much more than the other. Oh no, we don't have double blue. So... messed up a little bit there. Still, I guess I want this Courier. It might not change what I was going to do, but it might have meant that I played out Sphinx's Insight first to try to get an island and then do Duelist and do 2 things in the same turn, which will be my turn next turn anyway. That wouldn't have even worked because we wouldn't have had the 2 mana left over. So this is probably what I would have done anyway, but I just assumed I had enough blue to cast all my stuff, and I did not. Okay. Taking a little damage here. Every bit of life we get from the Inheritance just helps so much. And they do not like making haste creatures. Sneak? Yeah, so what do we do here? Their creatures are huge. I want to gain some life. Maybe draw an island. Maybe not. But not playing my creatures has the advantage here of sort of hiding Kaya's Wrath. How do we block the most damage? I guess we block the most damage by doing something like this. And the reason I didn't put the Senate Courier on the 4/4 trample is to get them to play another creature out. Because if it looks like we're just sacrificing both of our creatures, it looks like we don't have Kaya's Wrath. And we gain another life for this being in play. So that was a bit cheeky there. Ultimately we do take less damage because we took 2 off the trample from the beast, but it does hide it a little bit. Anyway, now that that tirade is over, swing with the Courier. No need to give it vigilance because it isn't long for this world. You'll be remembered fondly, little Senate Owl. And then, what do we have? A Gateway Sneak. Hopefully they play some kind of artifact creature that I can expose. We're not out of the water yet. Electro Dominance? Oh no. I wonder what they'll play for free. Rubble Slinger. That's not too scary. It's bigger than anything I can do, but not too scary. It feels like a 2-for-1, but really it's just a cheaper kind of fireball thing. They really get blown out here if they use a big trick, I think. I don't know why I blocked it even. Oh well. Angel of Grace. Well, that's pretty good. I'll take an Angel of Grace. And the nice thing about that is it totally hides itself, because we would have just done it last turn if we had it last turn. But now we get away with murder. Again, they could definitely have plummets in their deck. They wouldn't have had to use them yet. They could have all manner of things to try to mess this up. Some of them don't get messed up, or don't mess us up because we have Slimebind. The Erynx, and they have enough to pump it. Whoops, what happened here? Is that worth binding? I'd say it is. I'll bind that, and that opens up mana for the inheritance, and I just don't need to worry about blocking it or anything. So, yeah. They are dead next turn unless they find some good answers. I will even lay down the Junk Troller. Is Troller a type of real thing? I don't know. Junk Troller? Trolls through the junk? Regardless, that was... I mean, this is why Kaya's Wrath is ridiculous. No other card can win me the game, and this wins it. Round 2. Opponent takes the play, they're down to 6. I'll keep this. It doesn't have red yet, but it does have 2 lands. Nothing wrong with that. Come on, land. Senate Guild Mage. Why don't we just kill that? Nothing else to do now, and I'd like to use my mana when I can. And it looks like they're not doing much. Maybe they counter something. It also gets it out of our hand, because we're discarding to hand size pretty soon. Sphinx. Oh, I kind of wish I'd saved something to kill that. Maybe we'll draw another final payment. No, we do draw land. Yeah, that's not great for us. Now they're scrying every turn, and we're kind of stuck with an awkward pile of cards here. So what would the best draws be? Oh dear, okay. 3 gates in a row would be decent. I might have to use Slimebind to lock down their Sphinx. But I am afraid that they are rocking counter magic, which they might use here. They don't have to, certainly, especially if they're going to find their own high alert. But well, there's a gate number 1. And yeah, I am really afraid of their counter magic, but maybe they don't have it. Try to get this down there, and if that works, Gateway Plaza can come out. Are we going to win this? No. They unlock their Sphinx, and I guess that's not the worst thing in the world because we're not dead yet. And we might have an answer for it over the next couple turns, like this Angel of Grace. in combination with Fairy Duelist, can take out the Sphinx of Foresight and just take no damage here. Let's do it. That's a good plan. That's a good plan. And they would have countered Ill-Gotten Inheritance when they had the chance, if they had it. I guess I should be looking at where they've been scrying. They scryed at the bottom. And that, I mean, if they scryed at the top, you know they've drawn something impactful. That's the only thing that really matters there. All right. Okay. Angel of Grace. And they say, that's fine. But also, Fairy Duelist. Do they have final payment? That would make sense here. Admonition, return target creature to its owner's hand. Okay. But they're not doing it main phase, so they don't get to draw the card. Still, I'll prevent 3 damage here by blocking the Courier and taking a little less from the Sphinx. Gateway Sneak, now what? We have a Gates Ablaze to do 2 to everything. That doesn't help enough. We still have to kind of run out this Angel to try to trade with the Sphinx, so that takes up 5 mana. And yeah, we'll just kind of pass turn then. Like, we survive a turn. Oh no. Oh, that's the worst. Okay, it's not that bad, actually. I forgot this is a 5/4, but it is a 5/4. So it still trades with the Sphinx. Maybe they're just going to try to wait a while. The longer they wait, the better this Ill-Gotten Inheritance is. And then eventually we might just try to reset with Gates Ablaze to begin with. So what do we do here? Do we want to draw from the Orzhov Locket? Or do we hold up all of our mana? I think we hold up all of our mana here in case they're going to try to kill us and we go for the Inheritance. Yeah, let's do that. So I will draw with Orzhov Locket if there's nothing we need to do. Oh no. Right, so this is very close to killing us. So what do? We block here and survive. And then try to draw to another gate, and that's kind of our only option. Either that or use the Inheritance, but I think we're dead to that next turn anyway. Oh no, wrong thing. Wrong thing. Let's say we went to crack the Azorius Locket. What would we be looking for? We wouldn't have enough mana to do what we need. 3. So I think we have to Slime Bind this thing. It's unfortunate, but that's just the way of it. Expose doesn't help us here. Final Payment barely helps. And this is 6 to activate, so we don't have enough mana for that even. Okay, well, all is not lost. We can Gates Ablaze here to kill a couple things, even if it's not everything. And it doesn't kill our Angel of Grace, so that's a nice piece of upside as well. Gates Ablaze. Goodbye stuff. And then the safest thing to do is hold up Final Payment and Expose to Daylight, I suppose, in case they draw their High Alert, or removal for Slime Bind, or a haste creature or something, who knows. Scrying to the bottom again. Here they come for 1. And I really don't want to sacrifice my Angel of Grace to kill a Senate Courier. And there's Azorius Knight Arbiter, which is not the absolute worst, but it's pretty bad for us. Now what? What do we do here? Okay, I know what to do. I know what to do. Cast Gateway Sneak and pass the turn. Because they can get in two with the Knight Arbiter pretty easily. One card on top. Okay, so is this High Alert? Bring to Trial. Bring to Trial. And that means this thing is kind of doomed. And they'd love to exile it. But it turns out we can just get it into our graveyard if we sack it here. So now we take 1 damage this turn instead of 2. And potentially go back up to 10 from this Angel. Hazda Officer? Oh, wow. They were so close to killing us here. Ridiculously close. 2, can't do anything about that. Don't have anything to target with Expose. We go to 2. We should have not F6 to that, because I pretty much know I have to use Angel of Grace, and we could have gained 1 extra. Messed that one up. But maybe we can do that in response to something? I don't know. And that costs 6, so that's definitely going to take up our turn here. Play the land. Pass it. They're going to scry. Scry to the bottom. Okay. Here we go. We're at 10. I'll just take a hit of 4. A tough one. Well, now I can auto yield to it. And potentially draw with the sneak and kind of sign up for 4 damage. 4, let's see, that's 5, that'd be 6 damage total with the eel. But I'd be drawing a card. 4. Drawing a card is nice here. Because I don't think what we have is good enough on its own. Always yield to that. Eyes everywhere. I don't know why that's in our deck even. Get that junk troller out there. And then I might as well just hold up Azorius Locket here. I'm just waiting for them to scry that High Alert to the top. They put something on bottom. And they're coming in. So this thing only becomes a 5/5. For some reason I have 6 in my head, but even when they adapt it, it's not that bad. Come on, Knight Arbiter number 2. This is starting to get worse and worse. Can we draw something? Kaya's Wrath! Alright, does this card always save me, or just almost always? Pretty much always. Do we just do that now, or should we put a card on the bottom of a deck? Like, what would we want to draw most of all of this stuff? Well, Angel of Grace, but besides that, maybe Final Payment? I don't know. What do we, okay, so what do we do after we Kaya's Wrath? 5 mana, we'll have 5 mana up, 6 mana, Eyes Everywhere, and then hold up Exposed to Daylight. That's kind of the only thing. Yeah, I'll just grab a final payment. Get that Kai's Wrath, go to 6. And pass. I don't think they'll have a 6 damage spell here. All right, they concede there. So somehow I won the game where they had a super early Sphinx. And did they Sphinx at the very beginning of the game? No. No, I didn't have this open. And I guess they would have had to reveal it, so I would have known anyway. Bring to trial, does that help us? It does kill the Sphinx. But they didn't have too much else that it really helped with, especially those 2/5 things. Anything else we can do? Sentinel's Mark is pretty cool. They do have some bounce, though, which makes that a bit worse. Homunculus is pretty cool, but the unblockable creatures are just better, so we'll submit like this. The other thing I could see doing is, again, putting in this Simic Guild Gate to have more gates for the Gates Ablaze, because a lot of their creatures are super tough. Yeah, I'm going to do that. So it helps Gates Ablaze, it helps Gateway Sneak, and it's not too much harder to play out there. Round 2, or Game 2 of Round 2 on the draw, with very little to do, but also all of the colors and lands we'll need for the most part. Yeah, we'll put down the Orzhov Guildgate here. That's the only way we can turn to a final payment. And in all likelihood, we're just gonna... Oh, I don't know, actually. Oh, I don't know. I think we just want to keep playing these gates. So I'm going to go with Orzhov Guildgate here. Because the Duelist will be helpful later, and we've proven we can win a long game. Simic Guildgate, there we go. Just a blue source. We don't really need double blue sources, so we'll just keep playing random gates here. I guess I should have played Simic Guildgate there. It's just, we haven't really seen the need for a Fairy Duelist yet. Granted, it gets in 1 damage a turn, but I can't imagine that's going to be what wins this game. This will save us more than 5 life, I imagine. Oh wow, okay, well, we've drawn all lands. Literally all lands. There we go. That's the kind of non-land I'm talking about. Of course, they probably brought in their removal spells for enchantments. Can't block it anyway, but I can definitely reduce its power for a turn. And I'm already kind of hurting for life. So what are they doing? Gate Colossus. That's also really bad. We have enchantment removal. Yes, we do. Oh, that's amazing. It destroys it, so maybe they can get it back. But that's still pretty good here. I'm going to do that now. There is some consideration for waiting until they play their land for the turn. But then we also face the possibility of counter magic. Yeah. Yeah, I guess we'll do that on their turn. Or like a flicker effect, because I do want the scry. No, okay, so maybe I'm misplaying this here a little bit. Just got a bit greedy. Please work. Kai's Wrath. Carter's Wrath, huh? I guess we'll top that. There aren't too many ways to get that back. Syndicate Messenger. Kai's Wrath. We'll just have to hold on to that forever. And they don't have the gate right away, so I guess this thing isn't coming back immediately. And I'm going to take a bunch of these hits for a while until the last possible moment, and then we'll Wrath the board. They might assume we have something like the Wrath. But we can take another hit here. I mean, it looks like we have a Wrath. Or all lands, but more like a Wrath. Bit unfortunate. Yeah, Code of Constraint's good. And that pretty much means we have to run our Wrath right out there. Slime Bind. Okay, does the Wrath get countered? Hopefully not. And then bind the Spirit. Sounds good. Hazda Officer. What's going to save more damage over the course of this game? Binding the Spirit or binding the Officer? That really just depends on what's on top. But I'll kind of wait. I'll wait a bit. Impassioned Orator. They're doing that kind of out of order. But maybe they assume we have counter magic. Which is a reasonable assumption. We just don't. Now, I'm definitely not dead this turn. But I'm just going to run out everything. 3, 4, 5, 6. That means we can do Ill-Gotten Inheritance and lock down the Officer. And they haven't drawn gates or anything like that. This is also one they could flicker and get in an extra damage here. Thank you, Ill-Gotten Inheritance. Ugh, okay. Not killing them anytime soon, but at least it's doing something. 5, yeah, this is tough. This is tough. So they can adapt Skittering Eel. Or they can bounce Gateway Sneak or whatever. What are they exposing here? Oh, they're exposing the enchantment. Of all of the things to do, they're exposing, where is it? Slime Bind. Too bad I F6'd there. Oh no, we don't have enough mana to do all of this. Maybe it's okay. We're at 6 life. They can tap this down. We can untap it. But untapping is expensive. Let's just see what happens here. Oh, can I count? They still have enough mana to adapt. 11. Okay, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we are dead. We are dead. We could untap this, block their 5/5. We take 6, or we could go up to 10 and take 11. Either way, super dead. Bring to Trial. That might be better against the Colossus. Exiling it is a solid answer. And it's also good against the 5/5 thing that they might have, and a couple of their flyers. So let's bring that in and take out Eyes Everywhere. Eyes Everywhere is fine, but it's a little worse against blue, and I don't think we need it. Would I like to play first? No, we'll still give them that honor, so we can keep hands like this. No, I think this has to be a mulligan. And I forget when the Sphinx has to be revealed, but I don't think it's until we resolve our mulligan. Anyway, mulligan, before I make the mistake of keeping that awful hand. I think we can bottom this island, too. Okay, so no Sphinx in their opener. Thank goodness. This time we'll play Azorius Guildgate in case we draw an untapped land and want to do something like the Petitioners. Guildmage. Do we want to do the Petitioners? Probably. Kaya's Wrath isn't going to be happening for a while anyway. We'd have to draw two of exactly the right sources. Okay, let him go here. And until I need the duelist, I'm just going to mill them. Draw a card, then discard a card. Okay. It's tempting to mill them in response to that, but it really does nothing. Alright, does that island help us? No. I mean, if we wanted to do Slimebind and Fairy Duelist in the same turn, then yes, but we don't. Okay, Code of Constraint. If you say so. So we'll do that because they're doing it with Addendum, which means it kind of freezes our guy for a turn. And they come in, and this is a good chance to get our Duelist down. And I believe playing out creatures like this makes them think less and less about Kaya's Wrath. It also is going to start getting some damage in. And you don't forget about a Mythic or a Kaya's Wrath in a match, so they probably know something like this is coming. If they just pass the turn, that's pretty sketchy. And if they do something like this, then we will know to play this. Yeah, they didn't attack into our flashy angel. And we can just sit back on all of our random cards in our hand. Yeah, so we're getting them a little low here. They might be trying to find an answer to our angel. Well, who wouldn't be? I don't know, tough one. Keep milling them here. And we've seen their deck in 2 games already, so the more we mill, the more we'll understand about what they have going on. Don't need to kill anything yet. Wow, Screaming Shield, great. Okay, play that. Counter unless I pay 2? No, that doesn't make any sense. So I'm just going to attack with Angel of Grace. And what do they have, a Wrath? This is too funny. A big pump spell. Big pump spell, huh? I like Slime Binding here. Because it pretty much does the same thing as Final Payment, but for cheaper. Justicier's Portal on that thing. Oh no! Well, I don't really care about that, do I? No, I don't care about that. Yeah, flash 2/3 that can't block this turn, that's fine. Oh no, what is this? Chillbringer. Okay, slightly annoying. They're gonna, well, gives them a few extra turns here of messing around. Yeah, I don't care about most of this stuff right now. We can make a big 1/5 flyer with our Screaming Shield, which is my short-term plan. And then hold up some good colors here. Alright, pass. Good blocks, some insurance with the Final Payment, and some insurance with Exposed to Daylight, because I bet they have one High Alert in that deck somewhere. Looks like our Angel will untap soon. And we're going to mill them for a ton this turn. 4. Expose our shield. Yeah. Yeah, funny choices of things to expose. I mean, I guess it works, but it does protect our better targets. And that still happens. Once we find them, anyway. Slimebind number 2. We're just about winning this race. Then again, they're gaining 2 life with the Guild Mage, so maybe not. Yeah, forget it. I'm just not going to attack for a while. I think we're better off trying to mill them this game. Draw a card, then discard a card. Yeah, if they keep doing that, it's going to be even quicker. Skitter Eel? They have 4 cards better than Skitter Eel in their hand. That's news. Azorius Night Arbiter, no problem. No attacks, so we mill. And pass, I guess. Is it going to be another Arbiter? Or Answer for the Angel? Officer. That's pretty good. On the Chillbringer, it's getting close to a time when I can think about throwing out removal or even Kaya's Wrath. But I actually think the board is pretty stable if we keep our Miller here. Yeah, I'm going to start with Slimebind on the Chillbringer so I can just kill that this turn. And let's see what happens. Taking 2. Kill that knight. Oh, they're done. They've given up. I guess this is too annoying to play against. Wow, great. So on to the finals with this sweet kind of gate deck. All right, 8 Shipley in round 3. Is that who I played in the first match? I don't remember, but it is possible to play against the same player in the same league if they drafted a new deck. Once again, I'll start on the draw. Oh no. Yeah, this is a pretty awful hand because even if I wanted to keep a 1-lander, I have to draw land my first turn to even get this into get a land into play because I have to sacrifice the Plaza. So that's not going to be it. Exciting hand as it might be. This is a lot better. Easy bottom of the mountain, and I'm feeling a lot better about this hand. Okay, turn 3 Gateway Sneak. Maybe we can hold back the Guild Gate to play on turn 5 or something. We're better off just playing it here. Kind of a tough one. Because it all but guarantees getting 1 hit in with the Sneak. But it's likely enough we draw another gate at some point, and I don't want our draw to be that awkward. Like, we might need this red. Well, the Plaza would get us any color anyway, but time will tell. Bind, yeah, get this in there. I don't care too much between black and white. Oh, another gate deck. Yeah, there's the extra gate that we might want. I'm going to put this Sneak into play. The other option would be to bind the Ram, which is something we'll have to do eventually. But at least this holds back the Wayfinder, so it's not all that bad. Then what? Yeah, we only have one blue, so we pretty much have to play our Orzhov Guildgate here, unless we're putting out the Inheritance. For... Youch. Okay. Yeah, this is a weird one. I'm going to try to bait them into attacking with the Wayfinder. And hold back the gate to maybe get the sneak in for free on a later turn. Yeah, so it's more likely, I guess, that they just pump the ram with the Beastmaster. Savage Smash there. Oh, that's too funny. This is, like, not what I wanted to happen. But I guess to save it here, I have to Slime Bind the Wayfinder. So at least they're finding out what I have. I shouldn't really have 6 here, but kind of in a rush. So now they'll attack for 9, and that's too bad. Because we can't block any of it. Time to draw Kaya's Wrath. It saved us every other time. Why shouldn't it save us now? Fairy Duelist. Just isn't meant to be. More blue would be nice. Ill-Gotten Inheritance does nothing this turn. Oh, hurting my head. I mean, there are cards we could draw. Let's say we put that down to 1 power next turn. 4, 5, 6, 7. We could chump that and take 5. And if we attack with the sneak here, they probably just block the Wayfinder since it's so close to the end of the game. If we play the Guildgate, we get in an attack here, and the only card that really saves us is the Flames. Yeah, it's just greedy enough to work, right? Gotta go big or go home. I think that's our highest chance of winning. And even if we draw the wrong spell, there's a chance we can survive 1 turn. But we pretty much have to use the Duelist to nerf the Beastmaster here, because it's just too powerful. Rentorn, it's not possible for us to beat here, unless they do something really silly. Let's see where they target, first of all. 4, yeah, not possible to beat that. If it lets us draw, I want to see where our Wrath is, because not either Wrath, only the Flames would have gotten it, so it wasn't coming up soon. Bring to Trial can come in. Eyes Everywhere out, because I just think that's a bit slow and maybe not so useful. Everything else looks good. I still don't want to play first. Let me be on the draw and then react. Keeping it. We have all of our colors. It's wonderful. Just what I like. Plaza turn 2. If we absolutely have to, I guess we could final payment something, but that's not that's not what we'd want to waste that on. Okay, they're putting Gruul Guildgate on top, so they probably have some expensive stuff over there. And they don't know about any of our Wraths. So if we have an advantage, that's our advantage, that they just don't know what to expect here. What can we do this turn? Not much. I guess one of the better options is to just deploy High Alert and make Junk Troller a bit better the turn it comes in, so they don't just get to attack into it and get free damage. Great. This is becoming better and better. We can play this Junk Troller. Not even any of the fight spells I know of can kill it here. Red does have some artifact hate, but a lot of that isn't main deck, or it's in creature form that it can just block anyway. Yeah, Rampaging Dude. but no good attacks. Otherwise, they just get to attack for 2 there without the high alert. So I'm liking how things are going. I'm liking this. We have to remember Angel of Grace is a 4/4 effectively. The other thing is maybe we just race them here. They're not going to kill us this turn. This is a crazy, just a crazy plan, but we've got this Arbiter, we've got some life gain, we've got removal. We're not doing so poorly. Now if they have the fight spell, they're going to fight the Rentorn and the Arbiter. Oops. And that does suck. It's 9. But this Angel of Grace might save us on the last fateful turn. Yeah, this is quite the game. 5, 6, 7, that's exactly 7. We have a red already in case we need that, so I think the best thing to do is play the gate here. Swing 6. Kind of hope they tap out and attack all out with something like a big riot creature, and then we can just kill them on the crackback. I mean, we've got 10 damage here. Just not even block anything. Final payment. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, I think we just have to let that happen. We could have used final payment there, but I really want this Angel of Grace in play. So we go to 1. We go to 1 life here. We kill their Wayfinder for free. And hopefully we're still alive. Skewer the critics on the Angel. Not ideal. Maybe we have to use that to go up to 10 life. Because if we use Insight, there's very little we could draw to survive. I'm starting to think I misplayed that. I probably should have used final payment to kill this Rentorn in response by sacrificing the Junk Troller. That might have been a lot better. Here, it barely gives me any time to use the Angel. But the Sphinx's Insight is even worse, so that's the plan. Use the Angel, hope they don't have a big 5/5 haste, and live to fight another day. Now we'll have a bit more mana to work with this turn. Up to 4 extra mana, gaining a couple life. Please don't do anything. Please don't do anything. Things I don't want them to do. Cast a 7/7 trample. Okay, let's go ahead and Insight. Using the mana we're least likely to want. Like that. Bring to trial. What a good answer. That's a pretty good answer. Is that the best we can do here? That might be pretty good. And it uses our mana kind of the best we can hope to. So yeah, bring to trial this thing. Pass it. The only card I can think of killing us costs 8 mana. And yeah, bring to trial doesn't even deal with this. So they're doing 2 things this turn, which means they could have done 1 last turn. Now they're regretting it, I'm sure. Fairy Duelist, we have to remember that's a 2 toughness thing, or 2 power thing. So what we can do is kill the Brush Strider and bind the beast. Great. They're both going to come in. Bind the beast. Actually, let's do this first. Brush Strider, give this thing less power so we can block it favorably. If they have no response, we bind the beast. Just don't want to take any extra damage here, because this gives me wiggle room to use Final Payment by taking damage. Okay, there's Gravelhide Goblin. They have 1 or 2 pumps for that, which makes it a decent threat. But I really don't want to use Final Payment on it now. Oh, it's not... We might not have much of an option. Whatever. We can untap our Duelist. We can wait for them to pump it at least once, and then use Final Payment on it. Probably by paying the life. Okay, here they go, pumping it once. I'm just going to pay the life. Choose blockers. No blockers. Let's see if they pump it again. They're not pumping it again. So I'm just going to do that. Instead of taking 4, I'll take 5, but kills that thing. Hopefully they play some enchantment. I don't know why this is still in our deck, honestly, but there is one big Gruul enchantment that this could help me against. Ouch. Alright, I guess they didn't have anything there. Or maybe they do. I mean, they didn't pump it the second time. Oh, that sucks. Alright, I guess I should have... I don't know what I should have done. Sacrificed the Duelist instead of taking a skewer from the second critic here. Skewer the critics yet. Yeah. I'm not going to go report on any Rakdos events in the near future. Well, thank you for... Wait, that's game... What game is that? I'll press OK. I think that's the match. But thank you. Thank you for watching. Not a bad result for kind of a weird deck. Good luck in your drafts.